If you want to see how this story started, go check out part 1 where we got the old girl running, but not driving. This is how we brought her back to the road and back to the car show and got her out of her tomb of the last 25 years. Stick around and enjoy the story. No, she's idling. And this is where our story really begins, because while we were running, we were far from running and driving. We had no idea of the challenges that were ahead of us in the next few weeks to get this car back on the road. All right, well, here comes part 2 of the Mercury Resurrection. We're going to redo the cooling system, because the reason it got put in the garage all those years ago is because it was overheating. So we're going to change out everything.
Right.
Here I am, naively thinking that I'll just get this radiator flushed and stick her back in the car.
I might pull this battery.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if it'll help me or not.
Yep, there you go.
Yep. It's our top radiator hose, our coolant tank. Thermostat's down there. This coolant tank's also the thermostat housing. Here's our transmission lines. There's the lower hose, winds underneath the power steering pump, which is going to have to come off and get set aside to get the water pump off of this.
There's a lot of footage to sort through of Dad and I looking confused, because while we spend a lot of time on farm trucks and old tractors, full-size 1960s Fords were not really our thing.
Went in there very tight.
Nothing on this car is tight enough. I don't understand it.
That was another big mystery we had. None of the fasteners on the car were more than a little bit overhand tight. I don't know why.
Should this not just come out of here?
Yep. Unless there's something on the bottom.
I've never seen a radiator bolted in the bottom.
This is where a non-mechanic
down
gets
here.
confused by Fords doing
Look
Ford
underneath.
things. Chevy radiators
don't
don't
wanna go
bolt in at
prying
the
on it.
bottom, but old Fords did.
That's good. Okay. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Effing line.
I know.
Yeah, it was completely gone. We took it to the radiator shop and they said minimum $700 to start repairing it, and no, not happening. Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
All right, well, the radiator's out. It's interesting because Dad and I
Chevy guy.
we are totally Chevy guys, and Fords don't have like the rubber cradle like Chevrolet has. They actually have a bracket and they kind of bolt down there, so that's kind of a culture shock thing.
The slotted,
Yeah, it is.
slotted bracket slips into two bolts.
Okay, he's just gonna have to kind of chill right there. Now, looks like down here there's a bolt for the alternator tensioner.
Is there a tensioner on that?
Yeah, it is, but it's not wanting to slide. There it goes.
I don't sound the best, does it?
Does not sound the best, no sir. It does not. Well, we probably ought to go ahead and take that expansion tank off,
How can you?
because that's the thermostat housing. And there's 2 bolts down underneath it. Might be 1/2 inch. Look at them. What do I do with that 1/2 inch socket? That's the 9/16. Thought I had a 1/2 inch socket.
It is right down there, buddy.
Oh, I'm blind. I'm blind.
You said it down there. In the extension?
Yeah, that's 1/2 inch. Yeah, I need an extension. All right, we're down to this point. Get to figure out which bolts count on the water pump and pull it on out of there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Does this just plug in there or? No, that's on that. What size was that bolt, Dad?
9/16.
9 or 5/8.
What is that, the carburetor?
No, alternator.
Alternator?
Carburetor's always in the middle of the engine, dude.
Tomorrow I'll figure out how to unhook
Where's
this
Where's the battery?
cable up there in your.
I worked 2 hours. to put
I'm
that in.
sorry, Dad, but we can get it back in. And you know what, though? That's good because
Where'd the bolt go?
it's still in it.
I mean, this bolt with the battery.
Oh, Dad, we had to because
Yeah,
we
I
had to get the car to run before we knew we had to do what we did, just like we did. So you didn't waste a thing. It had to be done. You did good. I'm sorry you have to do it again. But here's the thing. With all the shit out of the way, I can do that, put it right back in there while we're putting the car back together.
Is this Mercury a lot more complicated than Chevy's?
No, not really. Not in most ways, Dad. Compared to that Tahoe,
Yeah.
it's simple.
But compared to that Ford truck?
No, compared to your van.
Oh, well, yeah.
This is easy. All right, folks. Well,
So how many bolts?
4 for the water pump. We're
Alternator with just 2.
yeah, alternators is 2. I'll take a little more video. Stick around a second, Mom. We're gonna need your help pushing it back in.
Oh, I'm not going far.
Yeah, good sucker,
Got this.
Got all the bolts out?
I believe so.
No, we only got 2.
Huh?
Yeah, you got 4.
Wasn't going anywhere with that hose on it. That's for sure. There we go.
So what do we do?
Get
Get the hose?
Yeah. That is a big motor.
We collected just a ton of nasty green water coolant mix, and no, it did not run to the storm drain. We recycled it all. Dad's real big about not putting it in waterways or poisoning someone's animal.
All right. Well, we've got about 20 gallons of recovered coolant because we flushed the thing. I got a little nastiness in there. Well, back at the Mercury, and Dad's got her cleaned up. We're going to start putting things back on. Now I need to explain what we're doing. Okay. So I got 3 things we're starting on first. We got this little piece of heater hose that runs from the top of the intake manifold into a riser right under the carburetor. We've got to put a gasket right here on the fuel line, and we've got to figure out why this won't tighten down. So we're going to try putting the ferrule on that, which I bought a bunch of miscellaneous ferrules, so we'll see. Well, Dad and I are leaving the Sandusky, Ohio auto parts swap meet today. We did pretty good. Got the FE big block Ford water pump. I hope 90% sure it's the right one for our car. Got the expansion tank and for the 63 Mercury.
This was incredible luck. Our expansion tank was leaking and the
Some
solder
used Delco
joints had
45
failed and
plugs,
our water
the
pump was
55
shot.
265 harmonic balancer, and a points and condenser that says 57 to 62 Ford and Mercury, but I'm thinking they might be close enough.
They were perfect.
Time to get this super cool alternator hooked back up. Got the brackets down here. Get that going. Get a little more footage of the Merc. As you can see, water pumps in, power steering pumps bolted up, alternators backed in and hooked up. Got our new 5/8 hose here, and there in the manifold, our vacuum line to the vacuum advance is now in there solid. got an O-ring on the fuel line there, coming up from the fuel pump. Debating on whether we put an inline fuel filter here temporarily or not. Got to talk to Dad about that. And other than that, we're moving along, waiting for the radiator. Look at this.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Me and Dad are back from a town run to the auto parts store into the hardware. And I ordered a bunch of stuff offline for this Mercury. And this was the thermostat the website I ordered from told me to get. And mistakes happen. And somebody just got passed by a weed whacker. And this is what they sent me. And this is what come out of the car. So obviously, this was a problem. Is my water outlet kind of, that one wasn't gonna work. So I got this little box from O'Reilly's, and here's what that one looks like. I think we're in good shape with this one. Guess we're gonna wing it. I thought about going old school and drilling a hole in the thermostat.
For what?
A bypass hole in case it ever sticks. That way a little coolant will get through. You ever see anybody do that?
No.
That'll be fun.
You want the 1/2-inch drive? Don't snug it up too tight yet.
I got a little bit of extension on that. Kind of, that looks pretty slick, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
On these Ford FE engines, that is the thermostat housing, expansion tank for the coolant, radiator fill. It kind of does a lot of stuff. It's the only thing I've ever seen with something like that.
Cap. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, factory, that tank was painted. Dad clear coated it, painted the bottom half since it's kind of cool looking. You see the copper and the brazing.
I know, it's brass.
Dad picked up the old radiator back from the shop, and as we kind of expected, it's just beyond all reasonable expectations of being economically fixed. So we're going to go ahead and unbox the new radiator and see how well it matches. Huh. Ready, Mom?
Nope. No.
Let me try it this way.
Get the box. Lift it up. Oh, that ain't good.
I don't like that. Let's put it on the tailgate of the truck.
You need to take this down.
I'm a little worried about this, but we'll see. About two, because
Just leave it in the truck. We'll put it up in the attic. Says black.
okay, put that back down there. I don't want one more layer against beating it up. And I think we're okay. We gotta get that drain.
Right there.
Yeah. That's made a touch different, but not bad. I think it's gonna go right in there.
What's different?
Well, it doesn't have the reinforcing bar.
Oh.
But who's gonna notice that? Oh, look.
I'll give you one.
Yeah. Come up with some thread tape.
No, good. Take that.
Okay. All right, well, for an eBay special, it looks pretty close. It's gonna have to work better than the other one did. It does. It looks really good. It's black, the factory style tanks. The top looks like it's gonna fit our fan shroud, and you guys paid a lot less than $700 for it. And like most things we bought for this car, you have to look it up as a 63 Galaxy 500. That's pretty close. It's pretty good. I had to mill out those notches a little bit at the bottom to get it to sit a little further down in the radiator support, but not bad. This is one of the last shots I'm using from my $25 Asako action camera. I don't really use them anymore.
It must be on mine then. I have to go my way a little bit. No.
Gates got the profile pretty good. A little bit of trimming and they fit right in. I guess at this point we're lucky I can go through O'Reilly's and get radiator hoses that'll work on the car. I don't think my hose cutter would have worked, but tin snips would have probably been easier than the utility knife. Next time I'll try that. There you go. The scissors are right there. Oh, no. There. Yep. Now we're getting it. Well, here's the tank out of the Merc. Dad had this rebuilt and sealed a while back. And we're going to see if we can get the old... Of course, they had the sending unit out of it. We're going to see if we can get it back out of it so we can put our new sending unit in it. This way. That was easy. Something's gotta be. Probably a better ring. Oh boy. That might not be easy.
They sealed it? Oh, yeah, got her.
Oh God.
Nasty.
Yeah. That turkey ain't gonna fly.
No.
That turkey ain't flying at all.
Is it okay in there?
Should be.
Yeah, it's all coated.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot better about finding where the Ford specific parts suppliers are, because this sending unit was a $24.95
really
eBay
careful.
special, but so far so good. That's way better made.
Yeah. Right to where this stops.
Yeah. We're good right there.
Okay.
I don't know where that junk came from. All right, well, a few years ago, Dad and I took the fuel tank. Well, it's a few years ago. 9 years ago. We took the fuel tank over to Eastern Ohio and had it boiled out, sealed, and coated. So now it was in the trunk the last. I put some rubber strips up here that I cut out of a heavy bicycle inner tube. And Dad figured out how the vent ran, so that's back in. Which kind of looks weird, but that's how it was. So that's where we're...
Hose on there?
Yeah, that's on there. That's where we're at on here. So we're not running yet. I'm getting fuel going into the carburetor at the line. So either the fuel lines collapsed somewhere in there, which Dad blew out years ago, and or the fuel pump, which is right down there, is no longer pumping, which this should be a riotous experience changing that out. So anyway, what we did is Mom and Dad made a run and we got another fuel pump. Hopefully it's got some stuff with it. Hopefully this is correct and it works, and that's what we're gonna try. At this point we're parts cannoning. We're just aiming the parts cannon at it and blasting away. But something's got to be the cause. Wonder if I can cram myself under there and reach up to the point where I can get that. I should have done it. I should have done it before I put the oil filter on, because then I'd had a ton of room. Yeah, I love things you have to do an eighth of a turn at a time.
I guess you could loosen up the. I hate to do that. But...
I don't want to take anything else loose if I don't have to. Okay, those were...
Like I said before, every bolt on this car was loose. Don't understand it.
They're torqued to about 5 pounds.
I could try to take it off.
I got such a limited amount of room, Dad, that if I can not destroy this line, we're better off. You know,
I thought you'd lift the whole thing out at once.
I don't know if I can lift it straight out because of how long that...
Oh, I see. You got to go like this.
Yeah, that chicken leg is...
You're going to end up...
Look at this.
Yeah, you're going to end up loosening up that power.
It was definitely
thing,
possible. In fact, it was necessary. Ford FE fuel pumps are different than what I'm used to. They have a really long foot instead of a push rod.
Huh. Makes you appreciate where Chevy mounts them.
Yeah.
In a sensible place.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't put the damn fuel filter by the...
Oil filter. Yeah.
By the oil filter by the...
Fuel pump.
Yeah.
Well, where Chevy mounted them 35 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I changed them with Chevy out in the desert.
Yeah.
Mechanic didn't know how to get it.
I'm not sure what the service book would have said. Pull the oil filter mount, maybe. I just don't know.
Wow. What did he do on that video?
Oh, he had it out of the truck.
Oh.
He didn't have anything on it. I don't know if you guys can see, but the difference is the new pump does not have the proper threads. However, they send you a bunch of adapters to modify it, which is going to move our line location, which I'm hoping will still work, but I'm not entirely thrilled about this little evolution. This is the closest pump I could get quickly. Alright, I don't know if any of that footage came through, but we've got our fittings on here to adapt to the factory parts. I'm going to go ahead and get the new gasket ready to go on, and we'll hope for the best.
What you do with the other gasket?
And, I'm still getting the
And
parts
somehow,
here.
wouldn't you know,
Out of
I
the way.
lost the footage of me putting that new fuel pump on. But needless to say, it's on there. It's kind of a challenge. And that big block Ford, you have to do it a certain way.
What?
That battery ain't gonna do it.
I'll put it on 200. Well, yeah, it's got 18 feet of car. Turn it back to, whoa, don't leave it on 200. Give me the The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get that gas out of that, and then I'm going to hook the line back up, and then I'm going to pour a little bit down the carburetor, and we're going to try to get it to run, and hopefully running, it'll build enough vacuum to start pulling that fuel.
You know, however it works. Obviously not manifold vacuum, but suction via the mechanical action of the camshaft, siphoning the gas from the tank.
Well, I don't think that recorded, but we do have fuel coming from the tank, and it flooded because the carburetor, the float stuck. But that's a good thing. Not the float sticking, but it is pumping. I will ask you, Pop, just how many Motorcraft 2100s I've rebuilt in my life. I mean, since this is the only one, it did try to run the car. I'm going to put that old float back in with the new needle and seat.
You don't like this float?
It's different, and I'm going to put the factory one back in it because I don't think it's...
These are actually a really simple, straightforward, basic carburetor that I'm now reasonably comfortable with.
That's about all I can do there because of our linkages.
That had nothing to do with that linkage that I screwed up. That you had replaced.
No. The float doesn't seem to be floating.
No.
It was stuck
Stuck
down
down.
with the thing wide open.
Yep.
So that's a thing. Guys, get in
Fuel
here.
pump worked.
Yeah, fuel pump's definitely working. So that's a victory. But that float I got from the mail order place I sent away for is not floating properly. Now it is. Okay, maybe that's something wrong with that clip, because now it's floating properly. All right, I need to do some adjusting on that and see what we got here. Hey, I am thrilled, Dad. That thing started, the fuel and ran, and the fuel's pumping, and then it threw up on us. But you know, that's progress, man. That's all right. Let's see if we can get some flotation going on this girl. And the problem being is that should clip. I don't think it'll just sit there like a tractor one. It's supposed to clip around there. Yeah, there should have been a pamphlet, Dad. It was in. Yeah, there we go. Now it appears to be floating. See?
And it's set in the right place.
Well, I will double check that, but it appears to be, yes. Looks pretty level to me.
Yeah, it goes downhill a little bit.
Well, let me adjust on it.
See it?
I can adjust on that a touch.
I don't know what's supposed to be. God knows. I wouldn't know. Never touched a carburetor in my life.
I love them.
Huh?
I love them.
I'm scared of them.
Nah. I'm scared of distributors. Distributors are like voodoo. Carburetors are...
Carburetors don't scare me. Like I'm not pointing condensers in my life.
Well, points and condensers, I don't mind. Getting that thing timed is another thing. All right, now that looks to be floating properly, because she sure as hell wasn't floating before. She barfed all over us. Hell, as screwed up as all this stuff was, it's a miracle it did anything.
Yeah.
It started on its own carburetor, so it's chilly.
Never loosened that sweating. Had all the screws tight?
No, not yet. I'm just distributing the, because that air cleaner bolt is part of the hold down system.
We leave those rags there for a minute.
Yeah, we don't need to try starting it yet, Dad.
No, I mean after.
Oh, I don't want to leave the rags on when we start it.
Boy, that's silky.
Yeah, well, that pooped a lot of gas. That fuel pump's a good one. Fuel pump's like, okay, let's roll.
There's your gas down. Take that light and over in that side where all the gas was and look.
It's damp, but not crazy. Okay. Well,
Plug it back in.
give me a little accelerator. Move that lever just a touch. Yeah. Right?
Alright.
Yep.
This was a huge moment. This is the first time since it drove into that garage 2 decades ago that it was running on its own fuel system from its tank like a regular car. You know.
All right, yes, I need to play with the carburetor a little bit more, but that's my hillbilly ass rebuild, and we're idling. We got fuel pumpage. All right, Dad, how about that? We got a little smoke coming off of something. Got an exhaust leak or something going on.
Why they're doing it?
Yeah. I bet you're right.
Fossilized exhaust collectors. Well, we'll get to that in a little
Red
bit.
grease around and stuff too when I was cleaning them.
Yeah.
Pressure washing.
Yep. Oh, that's a win. That is a win. She is alive. It's the first time. It's probably
90s.
late 90s, 98, 99 that this car is alive under her own power. Good girl. Yeah, she's welcome back, baby. Welcome back. Well, I go get Mom. Let me go get. The exhaust system's totally shot. We're gonna put duals on it. Get the duals from a 63 Galaxy. It'll sound great. First time probably since 98 or 9, realistically, because Grandma wasn't well, and we just kind of parked it. It's just smoky. Yeah, I think it idles better now than it did back in the day. That's nice.
That's a nice idol.
Oh, these things are smooth as silk. The float stuck and it just blasted gas all over the place, and I took it back apart on the car. Yeah, let me see the. No, I haven't moved off cold, Dad. Good girl.
She lives.
We did have the cap
Yep.
off this master cylinder, and it was just as bad as you could expect it to be. Some cars will sit forever and still have brake fluid in the reservoir. Not this thing. I got a feeling we were probably headed down the complete brake job path before we parked the car.
What the hell was that? Oh, I bet I had a lock washer on my side. I'll find him.
Wow.
What are we hooked to here?
Well, we gotta go inside, don't we?
I don't think so. I thought it was just a... No, just a seal. Wow, that's dirty. That's fun.
That'll work just fine.
Yeah, send it. Yeah, definitely have to clean that out. I don't know, Dad.
Does this one come with this thing?
Good question. I have no idea. All right, so we had a nasty kind of surprise today. Is the fact that this particular power brake booster, which used to be, I guess, reasonably common, now shows out of stock everywhere, which generally means it just became not available in the last month. But that's how luck works. That now they're gone. I mean, why? We have no reasonable expectation of being able to find a booster for a early 60s Ford or Mercury commonly, so shouldn't have been super surprised. However, we don't want to have to modify things too much, so it's going out. Thankfully, there's a company on the West Coast that still rebuilds these. I don't know if it's on the coast or not, somewhere in Washington State. So away she goes as soon as we get her off. It's muggy.
Yes, it is. You want the fan on?
No, it's ruined my video.
Yeah, that's true.
It sounds like we're having an overflight of B-17s. So when Dad and I took this master cylinder off here, we quickly realized that the brake booster was well and truly destroyed. Which makes sense because
Everything else is.
yeah, the rear seal failed on the master cylinder and just poured all the brake fluid into the booster. So I think, oh, no problem. Rock Auto, I'll hop on. We'll get a Cordone reman, get her on the way. Nope, discontinued. Everywhere discontinued, and recently. So could have only been a very short time. So, which would have been great because those were actually really accurate, made from original ones. So instead, it's going out to the suburbs of Seattle, where there's a company that rebuilds these.
When you get all this stuff done, you need to thank the guy in Sandusky
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
and the brake lines.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's a guy in Allegan, Michigan, and he sells on eBay, and he has already shipped our new brake hoses, and they are stainless steel braided brake hoses with a black nylon covering. They're DOT approved, and they're going to look pretty factory, and you'll never see them, of course. Then the Right Stuff out of Lebanon, Ohio, down out of Cincinnati, is doing the stainless steel brake lines for the car. And like I said, the brake booster's headed to the Brake Booster Exchange in Linwood, Washington. I don't know if they're going to want this valve to test on or not. I'm assuming. But is that a permanent clamp on? Oh, it is. That's one of those,
Wow.
like a fuel injection clamp almost.
Yeah.
go. Oh yeah, Dad, that's like petrified. We should replace all that.
There's another bolt, but that's on the bracket.
And they're through this bracket, and then it won't. There we go. There it is. I'll show our 32 viewers what the inside of this thing looks like. And briefly, we thought about trying to get a kit, but there's a lot
better of it.
Yeah, we thought better of it. We're not that bright. There's a lot of voodoo goes on in there, and it is nasty. You can see some of the evil in there. So this is going to professionals. We're not. We're not. So I'll figure out how to do that. Yeah, that is nasty. Yeah.
Remember, stress kills.
Little asbestos in there. Don't breathe that. Get the shop vac, Dad.
No.
No?
Blow it with a shop vac, blow it out.
Then just take it outside and dump it in the grass. But the rain will take care of it. Just don't.
Yeah, God only knows what those old shoes are made out of, but they were in good shape, and we put them and the drums back on the car.
Checked out.
Yeah, we can take them to Napa, see if they got an old guy. Brake hardware looks real good. Hell, these shoes look real good. There's a lot of meat on these damn shoes. Look at those things.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Wheel cylinder don't look so good.
No, the wheel cylinder. But there's a ton of life left on those.
Yeah.
My thought is clean everything up and
Yeah.
rock and or roll. I'm not going to change those shoes.
Yeah.
They're fine. Yeah. We're going to clean everything really good. I got to get the brake tools tomorrow. Take everything off the backing plate and scuff it up. I'm not going to pull that axle though. Change on that wheel cylinder. But I'm thrilled. I mean, all those springs and everything look like they're.
That's like the front.
I'm a little concerned about the adjuster, but I got spare ones.
Did you?
Yeah, I got 2 adjusters if we need them. But I think I'd rather clean those up and use them if we can. Should be thrilling programming here.
I got incredibly lucky in that the wheel and the brake drum came right off with really very little issue. I mean, it came off, so didn't have to really abuse anything. Yeah, I'm aware that all that dust off the brakes is probably not healthy. I did get a mask after this and turn a fan on.
I've never been good at this.
To be completely honest, I've never been good at much of anything.
Yeah, I found that.
Just have an overabundance of determination. About here is where I realized that I was going to be replacing everything. All the lines, all the hoses. I knew I was going to have to do the wheel cylinder, but pretty much everything. I could have cut it off with a Sawzall and we'd have been fine.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Get that light on?
I'm working on it right now.
Put coil on?
I use blaster. But I might have to try the coil. There's nothing in here we absolutely have to save, since everything's new.
Where are you, Bob?
I'm under here. Maybe go up there. Can you see me? Well, what's probably going to be the first complete brake job on this car in 40 or 45 years, to the point where these lines are twisting as I try to get them off. They're just, everything's solidly seized together. Although they're coming out of the wheel cylinders, which I'm thrilled with. Oh yeah, they're twisted to shit. See if I can get that one off. Guess what though? We're gonna do what we gotta do, and everything is on order. There. Need some soda cans. Dry. King Tut level dry. A little moist in there. Focus. I didn't need to go through all this work. These are like mint. We could that'd have been fine. That'd have been just fine. Oh, you gotta be f***ing me.
Doing brake jobs, me personally, is not really conducive to keeping a positive attitude. I have my issues with doing brakes in the car.
All right, here's the passenger side rear drum brake setup. I'm about to disassemble. Riveting programming is what this is. They give me a Ziploc bag, Dad. Seems like a nice kid. Oh, 63 Galaxy, that's a rare car. Well, actually, it's for Mercury. You see about 10 Galaxies for every 63 Mercury you're going to run across.
Yeah, I know. Mercury.
It'll be nice on a cruise night. Well, get the car so long we can do it.
Yep.
Grandma didn't like me taking those Oldsmobile hubcaps off.
There's still some paint on these springs.
Oh yeah, they're like brand new, Bo.
Yeah.
I hated to sandblast them.
These, Dad, you may just be able to wipe them off.
Did you include a video with Anthony saying he believed in me before I got the anchor?
Yep.
All right, good.
He did put another video on another short one. He left the screwdriver in the cleaning tank at the farm and
It ate it.
diesel fuel. They had rubber and plastic on it.
Yeah. Hold it. That'll happen.
Hey, buddy.
No, I need those 3 main springs.
Yep, I got it.
We gotta check the fluid in this pumpkin because it's got a leak. I need a little hammer, Dad. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm like, yeah, John, I've known you since we were in kindergarten together. You know where Mom and Dad.
I do. Very dirty. There you go. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, watching Kurt's videos makes me really wish I was born with a functional personality.
Whose video?
Oh, the kid we were watching down in Florida, my friend.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
He's
It's
definitely
incredibly
knows his
difficult
stuff.
navigating life without a functioning personality.
I hate this part. I will have to edit the minutes of me struggling with this out of the video. Mostly. Yeah, nice. That time I got it. You want to bring me the battery operated impact? You guys see the keeper? Whoa, I almost dropped you. Can you guys see the keeper? Yeah, I've got to deal with that. Thanks, Dad. Perfect.
Did we bend the other one down?
Probably, maybe.
No, I don't remember you bending it down even.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to take that back apart. Okay.
Let me see if it's on this one up here.
Wow. All right. Hand me a little penetrating fluid.
Okay.
Here's that clipper, Dad. We don't need to clean it, but we should keep it. All right, hose is out. We are down to clean up and reassemble. Mercury time. You can see we got our new center rubber hose for the back. These are actually nylon coated braided stainless steel. We've got our block all nice and cleaned up. Got our hardware, so I'm gonna get this together. Record that. Anyway, got my hose and our blocks, so I put that together. Here's our box from the right stuff with our brake lines in it. I guess you open it in the middle, Dad. Well, there's the long one.
Look good?
Yeah. Oh, what I wouldn't do for a lift. Said what I wouldn't do for a lift. Yeah, this is apparently the two-piece seal that goes between the master cylinder and the booster. And there is a very petrified filter that's supposed to go in like behind this thing. We didn't even know this was a thing until, well, it died a very hard death. So obviously it cannot go on the new master cylinder or the rebuilt booster. So we got another one coming on eBay, but there puts us back another 4 or 5 days.
Thankfully, old Fords had a high level of parts commonality because a lot of Mustang and Thunderbird suppliers had the right part to fix our car.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to sit down with the books and try to figure out what's going on with that. I don't know. Okay, everybody, it's like day 875 of this.
We're waiting on parts.
Yeah, we keep running into other problems and end up having to wait for more parts. That doohickey that goes. So it said you use a two-piece seal, and the one I had showed the two-piece seal on. See the ring around here?
That's a seal.
Yeah, it has to go onto this mounting face.
Okay.
See, just like that.
You want me to go and out the shop and get the brake bender?
No, I can do that.
You wouldn't be over here, Bob.
No, I can't reach it from over there.
Yeah. Someday I'm gonna have to paint that.
The master cylinder?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to rust.
Yeah.
We could probably clear coat it after we get everything working.
Yeah, that would be nice. I can do that.
Well, I'm going to fill the reservoir part way, and then I'm going
You can
to...
finish up that one.
Okay. And then you're going to pump it like 4 times, and that'll basically bench bleed it. Getting better. Yeah, no, what worries me is that it doesn't feel like it's bottoming out. Okay, they were smarter than I gave them credit. The fitting that came on the new master cylinder takes the fitting from the old master cylinder, so we just stack them and we're good. Check, see if that's enough. I just want to make sure it's working how I want it.
Once I had that line bent to the right profile, I went ahead and disconnected it again, put the tube back in so we could bench bleed the master cylinder.
you going? Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Not too tight, I want you to get it off.
Bear in mind that at this point I had spent several days bleeding the brakes repeatedly. We had great pedal and no bubbles in the lines whatsoever. I had full confidence I would stop. Here we go, off into the great unknown.
I can't slow down.
No brake?
No,
No brake?
not much. Gonna have to bleed him again.
And bleed them we did. Back on the jack stands went the car, and I spent a couple more days under there cracking bleeder screws while Dad pumped on the pedal.
Well, it was interesting.
Several filthy, difficult, exhausting days of bleeding brakes later,
We've got brakes. All right. Yeah, now we're talking.
That's good. We also got lights out back in.
Do we? Let's take it around the little block. All right. Yeah.
I'll wait for you.
All right.
Get your back up.
You want to drive it?
Don't you scare me, baby.
And Mom's first driving the Mercury for a long time. Yeah, you need Grandma's seat thing. That's how Grandma looked when she drove it.
Mom's gotten shorter.
Yeah,
Okay, to the right.
you're good to the right.
Where we going?
To the left.
Just going around the big block.
Yeah, around the block. Oh man. Years off the road. I still gotta play with that carburetor a little bit.
I still gotta get taller.
There we go, first road test. First time out of Arcadia since the 90s. I learned to drive in this car 30 years ago. Behind me is the final resting place of my great uncle Walter Thomas, who bought the car brand new in May 14th of 1963. And right beside him is his older sister, my grandma, and her husband, who inherited the car from Uncle Walt and had it from 63 till Grandpa died in 77 and Grandma passed in 2004. So now that she's back on the road and feeling pretty good about herself, we decided to drive her out here and kind of check on the graves and bring the car out to the cemetery. Grandma drove out here every week in this car to check on the flowers, make sure everything was in place. So we brought Grandma's car out to check on her grave. So don't feel bad. It's not a sorrowful moment. There's no reason to mourn. It's just part of life, part of honoring our family. It's a good thing.
Well, if you're still here after all this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you think we're done, no, we've got a lot more cool stuff to do, so stick around and wait for more videos. Thank you all for watching. Remember, get out there, have fun, get dirty, tear some stuff up, try to be nice to each other. We'll see you in the next one.